What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another sales update video. It has been a while since I have put up any videos. For the last couple weeks I've been kind of taking like a mini vacation. Not completely, I have been working, but just like a half pace. So time to get back to it. So this will go over a couple weeks, and I have a lot to go through, so I'm going to be pretty quick about it because I didn't want to break this up into two videos. So everything I got from a thrift store, and we'll get into it. This first item I bought in the case, it was, I actually don't remember what I paid for it. They had it marked up. Maybe it was marked at 20, and I got it half off because of a sale. This was the Mophie juice pack for the iPhone 6 Plus. If you follow Reezy Resells, this is the case that he talks about. It's a battery pack case. And for a lot of these items, it was getting close to the end right before I got my top rated seller status back, so I did run some bigger sales while I was trying to move older inventory and try to keep sales going while I wasn't listing very much. So I think this went for $40, and it went pretty quickly, and that's still a good deal because I think that you can get 50 for them pretty easily. So next up, men's FootJoy. I've sold the golf cleats quite a bit and sold some shirts before. This was a pair of athletic golf pants, like the poly spandex, and I don't remember what I paid for these, but these went for right around 25. So this was another Goodwill new with tags purchase. I picked this up planning on sending it to Amazon, and I ended up listing most of the Amazon stuff I had. This sold for $40. This was just the PS4. Let me see if I can find. RDS Industries is the brand, but it's a PS4 PlayStation case. These Doc Martens I bought a while ago at Nordstrom Rack. I paid about $30 for them, and they sat for a while, and I wanted to keep them, and at one point I pulled them out of the garage, put them in my bedroom, still in the poly bags, and I was like, well, I'll give it another night. I woke up the next day and they had sold, so it was bittersweet. Lacoste. I don't sell a lot of women's clothing, but this was Lacoste, like a blouse, collared button-up shirt dress. I really don't know much about like keywords or a whole lot on women's clothing, but it sold within a couple weeks for $25. These, CD is an excellent brand for mountain biking, for clipless shoes. These were like really small, so they sat for a while, and I ended up they sold one time, and then the customer never paid for them, so I ended up having to relist them, and they sold again, this time for $35. Merrell is a brand that I love selling. It's reliable, and this was it looked practically brand new. You can see like the tread. Just a, bungee strap tightening system trail running shoe in a pretty decent colorway. These went for $29.95. This was an interesting flip. I bought this a while ago thinking like, maybe it could be an interesting flip, or maybe it would be something interesting to do. But it was a 3D puzzle of a medieval clock. I paid a couple bucks for it at a Goodwill. I ended up listing it, and with an item like this, these are the type of items that I would add shipping to, and I always do a calculated shipping when I charge for shipping. That way, in this case, I took a $20 offer, and I wasn't concerned with it going to California or something and costing me like $25 to ship. So went for 20, and I don't remember what shipping, I think I got like 30 bucks for it altogether. These sat forever. I had 3 of them actually, and had them listed at $50 plus shipping, and then kind of forgot about them because I was surprised. Every time I've had consoles before, they haven't really taken that long. Well, I woke up or I know this was in the middle of the day. I looked down and I had a PayPal notification, and it was like over $100. It was like 120 or 130 or something. Anyways, one customer ended up buying all three of them. I was running a sale, so all three he got for between 105 and 110 plus shipping. Now, when I went to pack this up, I remembered that because I bought these at random locations, I didn't buy all three at the same place. I was missing two AC cord, or two of the red, white, and yellow cords, and I figured, like, there's no way they're all going to sell at the same time. So as they sell, if I have to, I'll stop up at the used game shop and I'll pick up some cords, because you can get them for $5 or $10 depending on which cord it is. Well, they all sold at the same time. So on my way, like when I was running errands that day, I stopped and I picked up a couple cords, and I came back and I shipped them all off together. I was kind of worried about shipping 3 in one box, but it wasn't that big of a deal, really. So these pillow patterns that my wife actually picked up at a garage sale, she got the Starlight and the Rainbow Bright and all the Care Bears and He-Man, all for 50 cents. So I listed them in lots of the Care Bears, He-Man, and then these. I took an offer on these right away for $20. Like I said, normally, if it wasn't so, like the slower time of year, I would sit and wait for better offers or counter. But this last couple weeks, I've just been trying to move stuff. So this is a men's Oakley polo shirt, and I actually passed this 4 or 5 times in the Goodwill, because on the corner, like on the sleeve, it was like a junior PGA embroidered right here, you can see. And for some reason, I thought that would just take away from it. But finally, I was in there, I caught it on a tag sale, and it actually went for 15, like within the hour I listed it. So Vineyard Vines, I hear about this brand all the time. This was the first time that I found it, and it sold really quickly. Clarks, I always got to slip some Clarks in there because they are always selling, and I always pick them up. Just some plain tan leather mules, and these went for $24.95. Fin Comfort, this is a brand that I just learned about, and I took a chance because I was in Ann Arbor climbing, and my cousin and I stopped at the Birkenstock store. And in the Birkenstock store, they only carried 3 brands, and those are Birks, Ultra, which is like a wide toe box, 0 heel to toe running shoe, and then Fin Comfort. And they, right around $100. So when I saw these, I figured it was a good shot that I would try. You can tell that it's a wider toe box, kind of looks like duck feet. These were pretty worn and still went for $25, so I am pretty sure if you get them in good condition, you can probably get a decent amount for it. I put this in the video because it was an interesting find. I was at Goodwill, and Michaela found it, and it was like an instinct thing. She thought it was a cool item, this vintage gold tone clutch purse, whatever you want to call it. And it was $1. So I was like, yeah, I'll try it. And it actually ended up going for 15. And I don't remember exactly what it weighed. If I put it in a poly bag and put that, or in a padded flat rate and then put that in a mailer, or if I just shipped it. Either way, if I shipped it for, I was in for $7, and I got 15 for it. So, and it actually sold pretty quickly. I'm not even sure why I bought this. I got it last year sometime at a Goodwill when I was buying a lot of electronics for Amazon. It's not a good brand. It didn't have headphones. I really don't know what I was thinking, but it actually ended up selling a few days ago. So, I took an offer of like $10 or $12 for it, but it went first class. I just put it in a padded flat rate and used that like bubble wrap, and then I put that in a poly bag and shipped it. Giorgio Brutini, this is a brand I don't buy a whole lot, and I'm not sure why, because it does tend to sell. These were like a crocodile print boot, and they looked like they had some sort of almost like salt wear from the winter. You can see along the bottom, but they sold for $25. So Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets trivia game. I bought this kind of the same way with the clock at a Goodwill for a couple bucks. Wasn't sure if I was going to keep it to play. I like Harry Potter. I'm not a huge board game person, and my brother is, so I thought about giving it to him, but I ended up listing it. I checked all the pieces. It was 100% complete, and I also charged for shipping. So I took an offer of like $18 or $20, knowing that I wasn't going to lose money on shipping. I typically, as long as I weigh it correctly, I typically make a little bit on shipping too. So Kangaroos, these are a very interesting pair of shoes, and they were on the smaller side, but I still got $25 for them. I think it was $25. They might have went for full. Donald J. Pliner. These boots were actually in a video a few weeks ago, and they sold for $30. But I had kind of a pain customer who filled out a return saying that they weren't as described, and that I must have missed it in the description. Well, I already changed it. In the description right here, I didn't measure them. It was like 2.5 inches or something. Anyways, I marked them as a mid because I thought that they were like literally 2 3/4 inches. And this person got it and sent me pictures back with a measuring tape, and basically I mislabeled them by like a 1/2 inch or something. And so she filled out an item not as described, sent them back. I got them, I relisted them, and they actually sold for more. So this was just a basic The Who t-shirt. The reason I put this in here is because every once in a while I'll go to a thrift store if I'm not finding a lot of other things, or if just every once in a while I'll go through and I'll buy a bunch of t-shirts. And this particular time, I think I bought like 30 or 40 t-shirts because they were all between 50 cents and $1, and then they go first class, so you're only into it for a few bucks. I don't think this sold for $13.95. I think this sold for $11.95, or maybe even $9.95. But anyways, when you're getting it for $1 and you can ship it for a couple bucks, it's good filler. This was a cool pair of shoes. I actually almost kept these too. They looked like Chucks. At my first glance, I thought, like, what kind of weird knockoffs are those? But then I went over, I looked at it, and I noticed this extra rubber patch right here on like the outside of your foot, and I thought it looked like a skate pad. So I looked it up, and vintage Vision streetwear shoes, you can actually get quite a bit of money for them. It's, you know, it's like a throwback Chuck style skating shoe. And I might have had these for a month or so before they sold. Crocs, that's another good bread and butter thing. They usually aren't marked up. I think that, yeah, these were like a Leather Mule, and they went for $20. And then this was another first time find for me. I know Bonafide Hustler talks about Cool a lot. I think it's a little more popular down south. In my area, it tends to be more like North Face than Colombia and Patagonia, stuff like that. So this is the first time finding this. I listed it at $24.95, and I was running a sale, as you can see. So it was at $19.96, and I got an offer for $20.96. So I took it, and it actually sold. Like, I listed this morning, and it was only online for an hour or two. So clearly I underpriced it. Anyways, that's all. I'm going to cut this video now before I get cut off, but I will be back posting a little more regularly, so I will talk to you guys soon.